Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on the Linda and Heidi Show, or the Heidi and Linda Show.
It's the Heidi and
Linda
Linda
Show.
Show.
Da, da. How's it going today, Heidi?
Fantastic.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. We're all doing well, and we're here with our friend Susan Fatutta in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. Happy October and happy Breast Cancer Awareness. And we're here today to talk with Susan Fatutta about her journey through the breast cancer survival and journey that she's been through. And she has been an advocate for breast cancer awareness ever since her diagnosis, and she spreads the word as much as she can. And we're here to learn more about that journey today.
Well, thank you, Linda and Heidi. It's a pleasure and an honor to be a guest on your show today. Sharing my story has been almost a calling, if you want to say that. Back in 2008, I got a phone call from my youngest sister in New York that they had just rushed my mother to the hospital. Little did any of us know she had a seizure. We all flew up. I flew up. My sister came down from Boston, and we were shocked. My mother had cancer.
How old was she?
76.
Wow.
8 years ago. And 12 days later, she died. My mother had battled cancer and didn't tell anybody.
She knew it?
She knew it. Yep. But my mother was the kind of person, she was hard-pressed to get a physical, let alone go through what a cancer battle would be. You see, my grandmother in the 50s battled breast cancer.
Did you know that?
I was born in 58. I didn't know till later that my grandmother had breast cancer.
Right.
And all of my grandmother's siblings died of some form of cancer.
Dang.
Exactly. So it was not a surprise that one of us was going to get cancer.
Yeah.
So we went up, we buried my mom. I came home, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm going, in light of what happened, somewhere on this desk is a prescription for a mammogram from my physical back in December. It is March now. So I'm like, well,
Guilty.
I better go get that mammogram.
Yes.
So I went and got a mammogram, and I have to tell you that the healthcare system is not set up to get things done fast.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just not. However, the one thing I did learn in this experience is that if you ask for what you need, nicely of course, and you bring cupcakes everywhere you go, the odds of you getting what you want are really, really good.
It helps, doesn't it?
It helps.
Cupcakes go a long way with just about any situation.
I'm telling you. Now, you think I'm kidding, but I'm really not.
No, I
okay?
just saw a post on Suzanne Kennedy's.
Oh, yeah.
She mentioned the cupcakes.
Well, what happened
God
was,
bless you, Suzanne. We're
That's
thinking
right.
about you.
I got a call. I went and had my mammogram, and I got a call a couple of days later that they wanted me to come for a biopsy. All right. No problem. So I called to make the appointment. They said, well, you need a prescription. I said, well, you people want to see me, not my doctor.
You're the prescription. You called me.
So I call my doctor's office. They say they're sending it. And I call back, and the people on the phone don't have it. And I'm getting irritated now. So I go to my doctor's office. I grab it, and I go up to the radiology place. And there are these two young women. They're like 18 years old. I called them Bambi and Muffy. Because that's like what they look. They were young kids. I'm like, girls, help a sister out. Who the heck is answering the phones back there for appointments? They said, well, what do you need? I said, here, you guys called me. I need to have a biopsy. Here's, when can you get me in? They said, hey, why don't you stick around? We can get you in like an hour. I'm like, great, yeah. Women of action. I love that.
Good. Love it.
So within minutes, the woman who had done my mammogram comes out. She said, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh,
You called me.
I'm supposed to have a follow-up mammogram and a biopsy. They said, oh, well, come on.
Awesome.
All right, so I go back. She redoes she goes, you see that? They don't like the way that looks. I got to get a close-up. I said, okay. Boom, she gets the close-up. I said, great, we're done. She goes, well, where are you going? I said, well, I'm done, right? She goes, yeah, but you have to schedule the biopsy. I said, schedule it? Why can't I have it done now?
Right.
They said, well, that's not how it works.
Why not?
Why not? So well,
Time is of the essence, right? My life is
well,
at stake here.
time was of the essence.
Yeah.
Because it was March, and I was getting ready to go away on the road for almost 3 weeks. So I'm like, God, I got to get all this stuff done.
Yeah.
So sure enough, they go get the biopsy girls, and they said, well, the doc's not here. She's over at the main hospital. She'll be back around 1:00. I said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's make believe that she's going to say yes. They said, yeah, but we need a script. I said, of course you do. Hold on. Michelle.
And these days they can email it, right?
I know
Hey,
that
I've
this
got-
is
Fax it.
unusual.
They fax it.
Well, no, they can't because of
They
HIPAA.
email it.
They can't.
They can't do any of that?
I don't think
They,
so.
they could fax it at the time.
can't.
Okay, they
Yeah.
can fax it.
Right?
Okay.
Bing, 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 bing. I said, Michelle, I know you don't normally do this, but you know what I just
Remember
went
those
through?
cupcakes I brought you?
Please, can you do this for me? What number, girls? Da, 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 da. Ding, 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 ding. Boom. That's done. I said, here's my phone number. I'm going to go back to my office. Call me if the doctor says no. Otherwise, I'll be back at 1:00. Deal, deal, deal. Boom. They call me up. Doctor said yes. Great.
Awesome.
I stop. I get cupcakes.
So, I gotta ask at this point, are you concerned or are you just, is it all about business at this point? You just need to get in and out and you need to get you need to pack your suitcase and get
I
on the
just
road.
knew.
Were you nervous?
I just knew. I just knew. I just.
She had a grandmother and a mother and an
I
aunt.
just
and-
knew.
Right.
I had been having mammograms since I was 30. I had dense, fibrous breast. Mammograms didn't work. It was always an MRI follow-up. So it really, for me, it was only a matter of time.
Right.
And considering what we just went through with my mom,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, hey, let's get this done.
Yeah.
So I go back, and of course, I bring cupcakes with
You
me.
get the cupcakes.
Okay. And the
Person
radiologist
could get fat hanging
she
around
was,
you.
She was like, you brought me food? I said, well, yeah, I'm Italian, and you're doing me a favor.
You get food.
And so I'm bringing you a couple. She goes, I kind of get that because my kid hurt himself, and I brought cupcakes to the orthopedist that squeezed this in. I said, well, now you get it.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, this radiologist was killer, and she explained everything. She pulled it up, and she goes, you see those things? She goes, I don't like them, so I got to figure out what they are. Now you're going to lay on that table face down and don't move, because it's me trying to get a grain of sand. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but what really is it? She goes, here, think of it this way. Think of your hose, your garden hose. And it's across your driveway and the water's on full blast. And then you drive your car onto the hose. What happens? Well, the pressure builds up and bam, it blows. She goes, exactly. Right now, you see all those things? They're in your hose. And that's good. They haven't spread through your body yet. So we got to figure out what that is. And I'm going to put a marker, every time I take I'm going to put a piece of filament where I take it from. So if it is anything or what it is, the surgeon knows where I've been.
Okay.
And I just knew. That was Friday. I spent the weekend researching surgeons. Tuesday morning, I was supposed to go back to the radiology. My doctor's office called me at 8 o'clock. They said, you got to come here first. I said, just tell me, Michelle. Come on, just tell me. She goes, I can't. I said, I live in a one-story house. What do you think I'm going to do? Jump out the window? Kill myself? She goes, well, that's not how it works. I said, well, just tell me. Come on, I've been to your office for 20 years. She said, it's positive. Well, Josephine was hysterical at this point because we just buried my mother. But I knew. So we went, and my doctor was like, if I had your diagnosis, this is the doctor I would go to. And it was one of the three that I had narrowed down to. And she said, now she's not known for being warm and fuzzy, but she's the best.
That's what you want.
So that was Tuesday. I called her, got an appointment for 8 o'clock Thursday morning with cupcakes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because that turns a,
I'll
very
tell you, it
sterile
changed.
doctor into warm and fuzzy sometimes.
But I will tell you, again, please thank you, cupcakes. Okay? We went, and we had
Remember
figured
that,
out-
ladies.
We had figured out our schedules, and I knew that I needed to have surgery on April 10th. That was the day I needed
Moved
to have
really
surgery.
fast.
And as I was flying out Sunday. This is Thursday. I had already had a physical not too long ago, so they used all that blood work and everything, but I still had to have a chest x-ray, EKG, blah, blah, and I had to meet the plastic surgeon They called the plastic surgeon. They walked me through his office. His wife met me at valet. She paid the valet. I brought cupcakes to that office. And when you say please and thank you, people will do things for you.
Yeah,
And
it really
that's the
helps.
truth. You know, when we were sitting in the surgeon's office with the scheduler, and there was a woman screaming at the receptionist, I know I have an appointment, and she's just belittling this woman. And I'm looking at the schedule, I'm saying, well, she ain't getting shit, is she? She said, no, she ain't getting shit. And they had a conflict that day that I wanted the surgery. And so they scheduled me for the next week, which really was bad for me.
Yeah.
And so I left for out of town, and they called me while I was away, and they said they moved things around, and I had surgery on the 10th.
Did they catch it in the beginning?
It was stage 1,
Okay.
but I opted for the double mastectomy because for me, I knew that the odds of reoccurrence would be very, very high. Plus, who wants a new one and an old one? Like, you want them to match.
You need a matching set.
Right. You know, I mean,
Helps.
who wants like 52-year-old droopy? And,
One time I wore a blue shoe and a black shoe to work.
So it's the same thing, you know, and it was great. If a mastectomy could be great, it was great because
Good.
people were kind, people explained things. There were other women around that were there to help, to explain, and I kind of knew because I knew what my grandmother looked like, you know. But back then, you wore a special bra with an implant as an insert. You didn't have reconstruction.
Correct. Yeah, that's what my grandmother had.
So, you know, days and years and time, the technology, even the 8 years since I had surgery, you know, and that first year I did the Making Strides walk. And that's what my team is called, the Unstoppables. We raised about $4,000 that year. It was the very first year.
Yeah.
But we still were one of the top teams.
Yeah.
We
I
earned the
remember.
tent. And they laughed because they put us right by the porta potty. So I charged $1 for people to use the porta potty, and I raised more money. But it was great.
That's awesome.
So the next year I was mad that we weren't near the porta potty
Right.
because we were going to decorate the porta potty and charge more
that's
money.
funny.
We really had a good time, and
Good.
since then we've been one of the top teams. This year there is no walk. So we came up
But
with the
they're
idea of
doing
doing a car
something special.
parade.
Yeah.
So the Meeting Movers team, the Unstoppables, is doing the car parade. It's
I
gonna be-
still need to donate to that. Let's tell the audience how they can donate.
Okay. Well, there we'll put a link up on your website,
Beautiful.
or your Facebook page that will link you to the Making Strides with the Unstoppables car parade. And I have to tell you that even a $20 donation, even a $5 donation, no donation is too small, because they do things like give rides to women that need it for their chemo and to their doctor's appointments. The support is there.
Where
You
is
don't
this money
realize.
going to? The money that Unstoppables...
And it stays in the Orlando and Central Florida area. And that is key because there are women here that really need the help.
Yeah.
And
What about
you don't realize
wigs
it.
and wigs and stuff?
Wigs,
like that?
all of that. You know, depending on what hospital you go to, there are groups that donate it. It is just wonderful how the support system works here. And if you don't give, women, your peers, they're the ones that lose out. And it is not some 70-year-old woman, okay? I have to tell you, Sandra, a good friend of mine, she was diagnosed in her 30s. Single mom, her daughter was 5, okay? And now she's living to walk her daughter down the aisle this weekend coming up.
Wow, that's a beautiful story.
It is a beautiful story.
That's
You
great.
know, Lisa, same thing. Okay, in her 30s. Okay, celebrating her son.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Joan is on her 3rd occurrence. You never ever know. Okay. And Lisa was telling me today that a good friend of hers called her crying because her mother in her 70s just got diagnosed with breast cancer and didn't know what to do. So we are there for one another. And you just never know who is going to call you and need the help. And it's not just women, okay? It's guys too. Guys, I nag my brother just as much as I nag my sisters. They, you know, everybody is susceptible to this horrible disease, and I'm hoping and I'm working that in my lifetime that there will be a cure.
So Susan, just in case people don't like to read below the video, can you just say out loud, how do they find you? How do they find the website?
Okay, if you go to the Making Strides website and put in The Unstoppables, you will see my picture, and feel free to donate and come to the car parade. 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. The details will be
Date.
there.
Date.
Sunday, October 18th.
October 18th.
Fantastic.
right.
Good.
Be aired in time. Good.
Thank you so much for everything.
Advice for women who
Self-
either don't have it or may have it.
Self-exam, ladies, touch yourself, okay? It's not a sin. You're not going to grow hair on your knuckles. Touch your breast. Find out. Right now, Advent Health is doing $30 mammograms, and you don't need a prescription, okay? If you don't have health insurance, please go do that, okay? Now's the time to do it, really.
Great. Thank you so much, Susan, and thank you to our viewers at home.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Heidi.
All
Have a
right.
good day.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.